prosecutors, we've learned, have dropped the assault charges against the son of a prominent banker. Well, maybe he didn't do anything wrong. Oliver Lane charged with felony strangulation and misdemeanor assault after he allegedly beat Sienna Hubert-Ross at their apartment in August of last year. Now, New York comedian said, disappointed to learn prosecutors dropped charges against her ex-boyfriend. Lane is the son of high-profile British banker who was accused of brutally beating, choking her last year. Manhattan DA's office recently dropped the charges against Lane after offering him a plea deal. This is a travesty of injustice, Hubert-Ross, age 25, told the New York Post. I felt betrayed and re-victimized for myself and others. Hubert-Ross, a comedian known for her skits on Kamala Harris, filed a lawsuit claiming that 26-year-old Lane tried to murder her in a jealous rage after she discovered he was sending intimate texts to his ex-girlfriend, according to a complaint cited by The Independent. Our friends at Atlanta Black Star filling in details as well. That complaint stated that when Lane attacked Hubert-Ross, he violently threw her into a stove, then dragged her to the bathroom where he threw her in the bathtub. He hurled a number of insults, profanities at Hubert-Ross, calling her a little C word, little B, while telling her he wanted her to die, the complaint alleges. After Lane briefly left the room, Hubert-Ross placed a call to her mother, who also dialed in one of Hubert-Ross's friends, and they both listened in horror as the attack continued, according to the suit. Allegedly, when Lane returned, he threw Hubert-Ross on the floor where she hit her head against the bed frame, briefly lost consciousness. The complaint states she also allegedly propped her up. He slapped her across the face at full strength and escalated the attack by taking a pillow and smothering her with it, according to the suit. At some point, Hubert-Ross's friend called 911. When officers arrived, they found Hubert-Ross beaten and terrified. She filed a restraining order against Lane immediately after the attack. Hubert-Ross stated that she suffered emotional distress that has led to a strong and ongoing dissociative interest in men and relationships and will likely result in years of ongoing expensive therapy and professional consulting. Lane was arrested, faced charges that could have landed him in prison for up to 7 years if convicted. DA's office even signaled the case was strong. But in December, prosecutors stated they would not move forward with the case. Now, Atlanta Black Star reports a spokesperson said that prosecutors were hesitant to pursue the felony strangulation charge because there wasn't sufficient evidence to prove Hubert-Ross sustained physical injuries to her neck and that she lost consciousness during the attack. DA's office has not said why they dropped the assault charge. Prosecutors offered Lane a plea bargain for, okay, I can't wait to get to Adrienne, the lawyer on this program. I'm gonna get through these last few sentences here. Unreasonable noise charge that would keep him out of jail as long as he submitted to more than a dozen therapy sessions and refrained from making contact or seeing Hubert-Ross until December 2026. You know, therapy only works, particularly if you're dealing with coercive control and a malignant narcissist, if they want to get better. And there's some indication that, I don't know if he is or isn't, I'm just telling you about certain afflictions. There's no cure. Lane is the son of Jonathan Lane, who once headed Morgan Stanley's European real estate division and now sits on the board of a company that runs the roughly $9 billion estate of Hugh Grosvenor, the Duke of Westminster and one of the wealthiest men in Great Britain. Sienna Hubert-Ross's lawsuit against Lane is still pending. Just look at the face. Just leave it up there for a second. I went to Georgetown University with a couple kids who were like this. I love my alma mater, but I called it the real affirmative action. Some were sons of kings and queens and high-end people. A noise complaint is what they wanted to reduce this to, Adrienne. We chronicled everything. 2 witnesses apparently on the phone, the victim, a report that police showed up. She was shaken, and I forget what the rest of the quote was. And you want to reduce this to noise? I make it make sense.
Oh, I don't know that I can, Sharon. You
Yeah.
mentioned malignant narcissism and other potential afflictions. I think the real affliction here is affluenza. You have this
Ooh.
child who is, or excuse me, this man, excuse me, who is the child of a wealthy and prominent person. And so all of a sudden these charges disappear and pretty much get boiled down to a nuisance claim. The real nuisance here is how money can buy you freedom, notwithstanding your actions and taking away someone else's liberties and their freedoms. And that's kind of what he did with this young woman here in terms of assaulting her. And the thing is, yeah, sure, she's going to have a civil suit and I'm sure she'll collect some money at the end of the day. But still, you want justice. You want to see individuals be treated the same, especially since America loves to tout this thought that everyone is equal under the law. But no, it just depends on how much money your daddy has.
Oh, this is why I love being on with you because, damn it, we don't talk about this affluenza enough. I think you hit the nail on the head. Rich and prominent, and so I've never been held accountable. Is what really I. This is my personal opinion. People who behave in the ways that are alleged in this case, it's not a one-off. It's not a one-off, and I'm sure Daddy has probably gotten him, if he has siblings, out of some things before. But I want to make it clear that this is why some people don't go to the police. This is why women, Black and brown people don't always trust the process. And to add insult to injury, they're not explaining themselves. Why did you offer this noise complaint? I think I know why. And my reporter instinct tells me why. But they don't even care to explain it. That's how little you matter. I'll give you the final say.
It just, Sharon, you really hit on it. It's the thought that this is why people don't come forward because they can't trust the system to actually operate the way it says it is going to operate. And especially when you see the disparate treatment of how certain individuals of a certain complexion or of a certain income level are subject to the law, yet you see these other individuals get these free passes time and time again. So as long as they have the right coins and the right color. And so it
Mm.
makes you not want to trust this system and to come forward. And so anytime anybody ever says, no matter what the offense is, well, why didn't you come forward? I
Ugh,
get why. And it is foolish and disgusting to even ask that question, knowing how
gross.
broken our system is, or well, let's be honest, it's operating
Mhm.
exactly how it was intended to.
As intended. And it is gross. Don't ask me that. Okay. You don't want to ask that question, but people are, even in this day and age, sophistication, articles, things available to you on the internet, common sense. People are still asking that.